2030 Agenda and the Sustainable Development Goals brought the world together in a pledge to end poverty and protect the planet, leaving no one behind. So where are we now, and how can we continue to build the partnerships to actually achieve these goals? This week, leaders from countries to communities gather at the high-level political forum in New York to answer these questions. This third meeting of the HLPF will explore the theme of transformation towards sustainable and resilient societies, with 47 countries expected to present voluntary national reviews.
We're gathered here not just to take stock of progress and challenges, but also to ask ourselves whether our actions are keeping pace with our aspirations.
The Sustainable Development Goals call for a world that is prosperous, fair, and environmentally sustainable. It took years to reach that agreement, and so we have to hold on to it. We have to see that this is our way forward. The countries that are farthest along in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, countries like Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, are also the countries that rank highest in the world in happiness.
I believe it is a combination of a long-term policy in Sweden and us using the SDGs, of course, in order to think of our global relations, but also really together around the necessary transformation towards sustainability.
The origin of the HLPF and the path of the SDGs has evolved over time, reaching back to the Rio Convention of 1992.
Since the SDGs were adopted in 2015, it was decided that the HLPF was going to be the annual forum for reviewing implementation of the goals. And each year they take a subset of the goals and they have related panel discussions, and countries produce their voluntary national reviews of implementation of those goals. So this year the subset of goals that are being reviewed are SDG 6 on water, 7 on energy, 11 on urbanization, 12 on sustainable consumption and production, 15 life on land, and 17, which is reviewed every year, on means of implementation and the Partnership for Sustainable Development.
I think this is a very exciting event, and I'm very much impressed that not only the member states or the UN agencies, but many different stakeholders are joining to discuss and share the views for the Sustainable Development Goals.
Well, for Pacific Civil Society, who I represent, we've been involved before the Agenda 2030 and SDGs were adopted. It was civil society that pushed to have the agenda ambitious, to leave no one behind.
I mean, we know the figures and facts and the gap in investments, and I think that everyone understands that no one is going to solve this by themselves, not in politics and not the civil society and not the private sector either. So we need to collaborate, we need to co-create to be able to find the solutions.
Sustainable development is an investment. We have to pay for it. We have to pay for it as a society, and that's why we should raise our tax revenues to make these valuable investments. The whole world agreed on the Sustainable Development Goals in September 2015. Amazing. The whole world agreed. This is the only global agreement of its kind that we have. That and the Paris Climate Agreement as a package. We've got to make it work.
The high-level political forum is evidence that world leaders are committed and making progress on achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Stay tuned as we continue to bring you daily updates as well as coverage from our selected side events on iisd.org.